It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for another review of some kind here at PNX Handhelds. And this week I had planned for the AYN Odin 2 portal. And as you can see, that is not what's here. This is this week's unboxing, the Ayaneo Pocket DS. So what happened? Let's find out right after this. Hey fam, Swati Tukon Krap Pinik here. And first and foremost, before I get started any further, I want to thank you. Yes, you. Thank you for joining me for this video. I know you have a lot of options on YouTube, and I want to thank you for choosing me to be the option that you're going to watch some of your YouTube content with. Because again, I know there's a lot of handheld creators out there and a lot of other things. I know I love watching cooking videos and science videos along with nerding out about other handhelds too. So I know you have a lot of other options too, so thank you for joining me. And as I alluded to in my intro there, I had planned for the AYN Odin 2 Portal long-term review today. I don't know what's happened with it. I completely did my script. I was all ready. And then it's 10:26 p.m. Thursday night for full clarity right now. And I completed my script around 7 o'clock. So I was all happy with myself. I went to go grab my Odin 2 Portal, which I used here recently. And the screen won't turn on. It'll vibrate, it'll turn on. I can get some notification sounds out of it, but it won't do anything further. I tried holding the power button, nothing. Holding power and volume down, got a vibration, but that's it. Volume up and power button, got a long vibration, but that's it. Screen stayed blank. No RGB lighting, nothing. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to do in memoriam or what. I've reached out to AYN to see if they know if this is a known issue with any of the portals, what they can do. I'll let you guys know, of course. It makes me really sad because that's my favorite device of the year so far as use. I love the big form factor. I love a lot about it. Now, don't get me wrong. The DS is pretty fun. It has its quirks, which we'll get into. And the Thor, its newest brother, also has its quirks, but is also one of my favorite devices of the year thus far. And I'm absolutely enjoying these dual screen devices, but I still love my Odin 2 Portal, but I can't do it. So we'll see how that goes. But you can see I do have dual screens working, which took me forever to get working and is not consistent with it working. So we'll have to get into that. But you can see I can get dual screen DS games working fairly consistently. And yes, this is a 5-inch screen. And yes, this is a little bit bigger. So you get some really big Nintendo DS game screens. Of course, I also have a shader on it that gives it a CRT look to give it kind of that original Nintendo DS look. You can see balls of here, if you can see on the screen there, 60 frames per second, 59. So again, handles it really easily. So first and foremost, let's talk about the accessories that I got with the device, what everybody got and what dummy me got. All right, so if you were one of the people that were like me and you pre-ordered right away, you got this case. This is a nice but not nice case at the same time. You're gonna ask me why is that? Of course, well, it's kind of a generic strap, but it does have Ayaneo here. Let me just see what you can see. Do I need to turn this around? I think so, probably, yeah. All right, there you go. You can see Ayaneo. So it's not bad, looks kind of sharp there. And this is inside, it's not raised, nice enough. And then this is kind of like, I'm trying to think, I think it was the RG Slide that had this, but it could have been also the RG477M that had this, where you can take this off and make it a wrist strap, or you can make it a carrying handle. So nice enough there. And I don't know if you'll be able to see because of the black, but it does have the humps for the ergonomic grips. So it will be able to form fit the device beautifully. I say not so nice because there's no pouch here. What if I'm out and I want to charge my device? I need to remember to carry my cable. So does it fit this beautifully? Yes, it does. And it looks great. I love the coloring. And this was something that was, like I say, a pre-order bundle option for free. So the reason I say dummy me, I got this too, is, well, you didn't have to add it to your cart whenever you purchased it on Indiegogo, but they had it as an option. So dummy me bought it. And then I got the email later on saying, hey, the pre-orders are live. If you purchase in the first 3 days or whatever it was, you automatically get the carrying case, no extra cost. Don't add it to your cart. So I reached out to their support and said, hey, Ayaneo, I accidentally ordered the case. I got the limited edition silver one because I like the PlayStation nostalgia that it's giving me. But can you take off the case? And they said, I'm sorry, we can't change it. You can delete your order and reorder it. But again, that had been already a day or so. So I was like, well, I don't want to lose my place in queue. Can you do something else for me? And they said, well, what else could you do? Or what else could we do? I said, I don't know. And they looked on their website and they said, well, this is a case that we offer for about $30. This pre-order was only about $10. But this was meant for the Windows version of this, because if you don't know, they made a Windows version of this as well that had a smaller screen on the inside, but for all intents and purposes, it was similar, but it ran Windows and, of course, did not have a Snapdragon. But it does have the little pouch here. So they're like, so it's quite similar, but it's its own case, looks different. You don't get the cool wrist strap type of option. Again, a bit more generic, but this is normally $30 because it's bigger, because this is having like the power adapter for the PC version. Would you like that? We can throw that in and take care of you that way, so you don't have to lose your place in queue. And the $10 that would go towards buying this, we'll just send you a secondary case, so you can have 2 cases. So I said, why not? Yeah, do that for me. Now, of course, this has raised letters, whereas this doesn't. So funny, this is $10 and this is normally, I think, $30 or $40, but this feels more premium, but lacks that pouch for the charging cable. Again, I guess maybe because it just uses a USB-C, doesn't need the higher speed charging that the Windows one does. So they didn't include it here, but there's room for it. So I wish they had. But nevertheless, Ayaneo went above and beyond. They could have said, look, you're up a creek without a paddle. You either get 2 of these or you take yourself out of queue and cancel your order, place a new order, and you'll get it when you get it. But they didn't. So I'm thankful for that. So pretty nice. It's kind of flat on the bottom. So you can see that's flat versus, you can kind of see those humps, even though it's black. Yeah, see, there you go. You can see the shadow there. You can see the hump for the lovely, lovely humps on the back, which makes it very ergonomic to hold in the hand, whether you have just hands up here or you have both up here and you slide up your hands. Feels really, really nice. So I give them kudos. Probably one of the most ergonomic, bigger handhelds that I've ever used. So I appreciate that, again, because it does have a 7-inch main screen and a 5-inch secondary screen. And yes, I have changed the wallpaper to an official Ayaneo wallpaper. I thought it looked pretty cool because, again, it is a retro handheld. So I like that kind of retro aesthetic. We get the kind of 8-bit, maybe 16-bit look to it. Looks really cool, like Super Mario Brothers stars dancing on the beach. You know, why not, right? Has a good clicking clasp close there. All right, so like I say, this is extra on their website, but they sent it to me for free because I was a dummy. So I appreciate them taking care of me for being a dummy. And if you pre-ordered it, this was free. If you ordered it now, for example, I believe you can still buy it for $10. Again, if you normally have a USB-C charging cable with you, I would just put it in your pocket, what have you. This is a fantastic case because, again, it molds it to the device very nicely. So I have no complaints with that. Hill's really nice. This kind of has a velvety feel here. So I know it's going to take good care of my device. This also does, mind you. But so this was included. And then the other accessory I got, because I said, why not? HD tempered film. Now, I'm kind of confused. I do like that it says play Ayaneo here, down here. But it says film, but this still is a bit stiffer. I don't know if they have cardboard in here, but we're going to find out here in just a moment. But I just remembered, I also want to grab this here, so I'll talk to you while I'm grabbing it. Now, one of the things Ayaneo is famous for, if you're not familiar, even though this is my first order, I've seen other unboxings of theirs, so I know that they like to throw in a mouse pad. So even though this is a gigantic mouse pad with my logo on it that I work from every day, has a cute little retro smile on it. Play Ayaneo. I kind of like it. Maybe I'll move it over here for my mouse. I'm not sure yet, but it's pretty decently sized. You can see, I mean, I have 8-inch hands, and it's bigger than my hands. So it's a good 9-10-inch square mouse pad. So pretty good. Feels like mine as well, which is nice and smooth, very foldable, not like a cheap plastic top or printed top. So nice that they throw this in for free. And I believe that they'll always do this, but as far as I know, because again, I've seen other reviewers where they talked about the Ayaneo mouse pads that they throw in. So nice touch. But let's take a look at our film here. This was only $5 or $6, which again, for a film is about what I would expect. So let's grab the famous. I wish I had a jerry rig everything knife, but alas, I have a Phoenix Special knife that my wife gave me that she opens mail with, and she got a different one because, you know, why not? All right, so it gives us our instructions. Use the wet wipe to clean the screen. Use the dust absorber sticker to remove residue. Peel off 2/3 of the back. Okay. Once the film is right, placement, edge, remove the back mask. Protector will affix itself to the screen. And that's the same pushing your finger. Okay, so we get our little wet wipe kit here. And this is a screen protector. And there's nothing else in here. So they call it a film, but this is clearly tempered glass. So again, $5, $6, not bad. Think about whenever you've bought a screen protector for your Samsung Galaxy or your iPhone. Guarantee you're spending $20 to $40 for it if you're buying from the store. So I'm glad Ayaneo is giving it to us for a reasonable price. Let's see if I can do this live on camera. Well, not live. It's not a live stream, but you know what I mean. So one opinion that I have here is, see the unlock screen? I wish they would have localized it more. They have the simplified Chinese and English, simplified Chinese and English. I wish they would have removed the simplified Chinese, just given it a more localized look. So if you put your phone in Polish, for example, it would just be in Polish, those words, or German or whatever, in Thai, since I'm in Thailand. But instead, they put it in English and simplified Chinese. And if you're not familiar, simplified Chinese was created by the CCP, the current government of China, back in the 50s after their war, because they had like less than 20% literacy rate for traditional Chinese. And so they created simplified Chinese. The difference is traditional Chinese is probably what you have heard of, where each character is its own word, whereas simplified Chinese is using characters like English, where you actually have kind of letters. So it makes it where you have a lot less characters, and both use the same spoken words. So it's called Mandarin if it's spoken, but Mandarin is never written. It's either simplified Chinese or traditional Chinese written. So in this case, it's simplified Chinese because it's coming from the mainland of China. But I digress. That's just one of my nerdinesses. I know those types of things. All right, so we've got our little glide stickers and dust removers. Here, make it easy for you to see. Got my wet wipe, and I've got like a little glasses cleaning cloth. Let's see if I can do it. Place your bet down in the comments right now. Will I succeed? No bubbles perfectly lined up, or will I mess it up some way? I only got one shot. Okay, so this is slightly wet. I can feel that the alcohol, which should be removing any oils from my skin on the screen. I'm not worried about it because, again, it's alcohol and it's very, very mildly wet. It's not something you could wring out and get a drop or two out of it or anything like that. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. Much better than my top screen, I'll tell you that. I like to make swirls. This goes back to whenever I worked in a cell phone store. Well, two times. One time as a salesperson, and I actually installed screen protectors for people. And I also trained sales staff at a different time back in Canada. One time, the first time was in Toronto, and then I became a trainer in British Columbia. Okay, that looks really good and clean. All right, so it says peel off 2/3 of this, then try to set it down. But best practice to get your peel stickers on, your glide stickers on first. Let's see here. There we go. Can I succeed? No dust, no issues first time. I don't know, but we are going to find out. Okay, so we're not going to do 1/3 of it. Um, it's not pulling up the screen protector mask on it. Oh boy. Well, I think I got it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Isn't perfect, but I am hoping we can fix that. Get those bubbles out. Oh boy. Yeah, just a little off. Okay, that's better, but can I get it on without bubbles now? That's pretty darn perfect as far as that goes, but it's not perfect if I still got bubbles. And if you've never watched one of my videos, I don't like not having screen protector, especially with my 21-month-old son, Dominic. I want to protect it in case he wants to drop a toy on this screen. I wish I had one for this screen too. Okay, so glide stickers, you served your purposes. Let's see if I can't get you. It's not 100% perfectly lined up, but it's really, really close. Just kind of push it in and then push the bubbles towards the nearest edge because it's not using a liquid adhesive to, it's using a dry staticky adhesive. Let's see. Are those bubbles real? Yeah, they look like they're real. I don't know if you can see them on camera, but I know this is riveting stuff, isn't it? Come on. I think that's pretty darn good. Uh, where I picked it up there. Okay, I think that's good. As good as I'm going to get it, which I don't think anyone will see any bubbles. Unless they really, really want to. But I'm just looking at it here. Ooh. Oh no, I think I see something that I don't like, but And right there, maybe 2. It's not perfect, but it's not going to interfere with the overall gameplay. Like, you're not going to see it when the screen's on. So we'll count that as a 95% victory. So there you go. You have seen my accessories. Not like the Thor. Ayaneo, if you watch this, one, I would love some review units in the future. But 2, sorry about that. But 2, please create accessories bundles. We love accessories. We love being able to put a case on this, a grip like this. I know it already has a grip built in, but maybe we want a little extra oomph on the side like this. Why not? Maybe a lanyard. There's no lanyard option on here. No RGB, which I know is not an accessory, but there's things you could do to really pizzazz this thing up. I would love it if you included different stick caps too. So you could just quickly change it. Maybe I want a white stick caps to change it, or 1-1. Give us some options, or at least offer them on your website. That's all I ask. Give us an option so I can buy those accessories if I want to. So let's go back. I know I did it on the live stream, but let's go back over to YouTube. And because it is royalty free, we can listen to a little bit of Crab Rave. If you've ever watched Linus Tech Tips from Vancouver, that's how I learned about this. Of course, Shopee wants to give me an ad, so we'll just talk a little bit louder than the ad. There we go. Picture looks really good. I don't know if it's coming through as well as it is on my end, but to me it looks really good. So we'll do a little speaker test. We'll speed it up a little bit to make it more interesting. You can tell where the bass is supposed to be hitting, and it sounds good, but there's no bass, which is why my dream handheld that I created, video on channel, I had speakers that would have the mids and highs like this, but then having the ergonomic hump like this. Let's see where the lanyard is. I had that where those would be little subwoofers. So you'd get the lows here because your hands would never cover them. And then you'd have up here the mids. So the mids would be facing you at all times, and the bass would be going down low, giving you a little bit of thump, even if they were only half a watt or a watt subwoofers there, along with these speakers up here, would make a world of difference. Make it an amazing handheld. So as it stands, audio is good for a handheld. I think the AYN Odin 2 Portal has better speakers. And honestly, the Trim UI Brick Hammer, I think, has on par with this. This might get a little bit louder, but the bass actually sounds a little bit better on the Trim UI Brick Hammer, and it gets just as loud. So it's just, well, I wouldn't say just as loud, probably 90% as loud, even though it's a small little device. So Ayaneo, again, I know you can do better with the speakers, even though these are really good. You guys are a premium brand, so I would hope that we could count on you to give us even better in the near future. Okay, so speakers, check. As I've mentioned, the picture quality, check. I think it looks really good. OLED 7-inch. You can't beat it. I've only had one other 7-inch OLED this year, and that was the Odin 2 Portal, which again, I wanted to be doing a video, and I'm looking at the script right now. It's just right up here on my main screen. So it makes me sad when I see it. But I'm happy to be doing this Ayaneo video. So we've got accessories from Ayaneo. What about from the third-party community? You can get stick replacements, because I'm going to do this to myself, but you can pop these caps off. And you can use anybody that fits this profile. So if you wanted a different stick on it, you absolutely can. Oops. let's see, I've Yep. Nope, I don't want that music either. Stop. Let me turn back down this volume. Okay, so if I had never used the Thor, we'll just slide this over here for now. If I had never used this, I would be singing the praises of this. Okay, I absolutely would be. The reason being is this is a good device. Let me turn down the brightness so you can actually see the screen. But this offers more customizability. If I want to turn up the brightness and I want the brightness to match, this is next to impossible. I have to go one and then try to adjust here, adjust here. Okay, I think they're good. This has it built in where it's a slider. You can either do one screen by one screen or you can do them together. So again, Ayaneo, please copy AYN's homework and do that. And then also for volume, this lets you choose whether you or what volume level you want each screen's audio to be. So if you're playing a retro game, up here or down here, and you're watching a video or looking at a how-to guide on the other screen, maybe it has a video on it. Because, for example, maybe you're watching Russ from Retro Game Core. He does videos and he does written guides. So maybe you want to watch the video that's on his written guide. You can turn down the volume of your game, watch his video so you can understand, okay, this is how I need to set this up, do this next, or game walkthrough, same idea. Because again, you can do all of that with this. One by one or joint volume. So again, greater flexibility, greater customizability. And for me, again, I don't know if it's just sheer dumb luck, but I could get the DS on Melon DS working without an issue the first time on this, without any issue. I figured it out on my own. This is still hit or miss. 3DS games, I got working on this. No issue every time. This, very, very hit or miss. I can try opening one right now, and I can't guarantee it'll work. And that's kind of the frustrating part. So, for example, I will go ahead and load up Cetra. And then we'll say, okay, let's do Garfield. So first, I'm like, Garfield, where are you? Garfield. There we are. So I tried doing that. And it's like, this is what you want to open, isn't it? I'm saying, no, that's not what I want to open. Let me get rid of you. All right. Let me go back to Garfield. There we go. Now I got Garfield to work. But if you watched the live stream last night, try as I may, I couldn't get this to work. But this time it worked. But it's strange because you noticed I had to have something else open. I had to have like a browser open, then it wants to open it. This I can have no other application on the bottom screen open, and it'll do it. As long as you don't have the command center open, as long as you don't have something like this open on this, you're fine. But even if you do, you can just push the button back and it goes back. It loads it. It's always loading it. It's just depends on if you have that command center button options opened. So there's that. So sometimes it wants to work like here, but not always. And it's a bit infuriating because it's very inconsistent with this. Still very fun to play, but now the other thing I want to mention, put your hands where they're supposed to be. Up top, thumbs love it. Come down here, your thumbs don't love it. Now, can you use this? Yes, but I would only recommend for short spurts, 10, 15, 20 seconds. You're good. You can see my thumbs are not in the most comfortable location. They want to be up here. So again, that's a byproduct of having a big 5-inch screen on here. It's a bit more cramped, but it's not that bad. It's just not that ideal. So that's another first impression. Another thing I absolutely adore is having the fingerprint reader right here, because then I can unlock my device just by putting my finger here. Or if I have an application, for example, the Google Play Store. If I want to buy Beacon, I can buy Beacon, which if you're not familiar, Beacon is a front end, just like ESDE is. So if I want to buy Beacon from the Google Play Store, I can make it where I buy with my fingerprint. There you go. Nice full safety. That's not available here or on any other Android-based handheld that I'm aware of. So again, kudos to them. I love that they provided that. Just to kind of show you, it's a fun little Nintendo 3DS and DS. Screens are nice and big, look really nice. So the controls feel good, a little clicky, but not too clicky. I've definitely used much clickier. I could comfortably, and I have comfortably played this in bed with my wife and my son Joe and Dominic asleep in bed next to me, and didn't wake them up one time. So hopefully Joe doesn't write in the comments that she disagrees. But you can see, I mean, this is a fun little guy. So if you want to play 3DS, absolutely. A little persnickety at times, but it's still a lot of fun. And this OLED again looks great. This is not OLED. This is IPS display. Again, whereas this has two OLEDs. So your blacks get pure black. So I love that they match there. But again, even here, I'm not looking at it and saying, oh, this looks horrible compared to this. No, they both still look really good. Okay, don't be confused. I'm not saying that this is a bad screen. This is a great OLED, and this is a very good IPS display. Is there light bleed if you're looking at a pure black screen? Yes, there is. The rumors are true, especially after a recent update. Speaking of that, I'm not sure what they did to that update, but anytime I tried doing anything, it was just scrolling down to the bottom immediately. It was making it next impossible to use my device. There we go. So it was a bit infuriating, but I finally was able to get it to bring up the command center button. I was able to change my controller to be the controller that I wanted it to be. So it all worked out. I was able to do that and get it to switch over. So not a big deal, just was scary at first. What else? What else for first impressions? Of course, I can play Android games on here. No issue. The full Google Play Store. You can watch YouTube, as you saw, Crabray. You can download Netflix, watch movies on this. Again, they're going to look fantastic. It's OLED. The most premium TV you can buy is an OLED TV. So I'm glad this is an OLED as well. So you'll watch Netflix and you'll be very happy watching it on here. And plus, like I say, who doesn't want to just watch something like this? It's just kind of a comfortable way to do it. Speaking of comfort, though, this metal lid is heavy. So even my wife, I gave it to her and I was like, here, grab onto this. What do you think? She's like, whoa, the front feels a little heavy. So be aware, because this is plastic, this is metal, this feels heavy. Whereas this is plastic, the screen doesn't feel heavy at all. Again, plastic is lighter, less durable. So there's that. But like I say, I love how they've done the metal. This is not something you can scratch off, the Ayaneo logo. It's embedded into the metal. And I love that there's no steps to this. Feels like my Microsoft Surface Duo 2, where I can just stop the screen wherever I want until I get to max the 180 mark. And again, this gives me PlayStation vibes with original Nintendo vibes mixed together, which I owned both devices. As a child, of course, being the youngest, I had to share the NES and the Atari 2600 with my siblings. Shout out to my brother John. I don't know if you remember playing Outlaw on the Atari 2600, but I remember. And my sisters Denise and Diana, I remember in Super Mario, that world where we could go and jump on the turtle on the steps, and you'd keep going until it said our life count was like crown to house. It got really funny, but young me, 6 years old, made it where I could beat original Super Mario because it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't run out of lives. So thank you for getting that for me multiple times. So I wanted to play Mario and getting that. And I also remember on that original Nintendo, you two especially, Denise and Diana, being super excited about Super Mario Brothers 3 coming out. So I remember that. And it makes me excited that I can play Super Mario Brothers here. I can play Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World, even though we never had an SNES. I can play that. I can play Super Mario 64. All of those games I can play here. I can play them from the DS, from the 3DS era, which they've never even seen probably. So again, I just think it's really cool that I have these options now as an adult. And this is a great device. There's been little hiccups. I'm confident that Ayaneo is going to fix it all with software updates because they have done a great job in their previous versions from what I have seen. Again, it's my first one ever, but I wouldn't have bought it if the reviews I'd seen before said that they're buggy and they never fix their software. Just know that it's going to take a little bit of time. But again, for example, dark mode, I have dark mode. You might be a fan of light mode. So if you are, turn off dark mode. Now you have light mode. I love that it's just a quick toggle, just all your personal preference. So I'm not going to go into giving it a grade, but if we think about my grading scale, 0 to 69, so 70-point spread, 34 is the dead middle, right? Is this dead middle? First impressions? No. Is this a little bit better? No. I would say this is still a well above average first impressions. I don't know what my final score will be in my review next Friday because I still have a lot of time to play with this. But if I had to wager a guess today, honestly, first impressions, I would say 50 to 63, somewhere in that range is what I'm thinking for first impressions as of today, including the bugginess of sometimes, like say, opening Melon and forgetting this. And I'm like, why is this not opening? Oh, I have to go over to application. Oh, I need to open up Chrome. Again, I don't know why it's weird like that. And I hope that they can fix that out because I know AYN doesn't have that same issue. So I love that I have Balls of Fury. Nice snap close. I am glad that I have my film. I don't know why they call it a film when it's tempered glass, but hey, who am I to say? Let me know down in the comment section below. Which one do you think looks better? The one that they included as part of the early orders that does not have the pouch, but has the cooler handle, or the one that was meant for the Windows version of this, so it has a flat bottom, but you do get the pouch. And obviously it's bigger. Let me see if I can't show you here. If it's obvious or not, but to me it's quite obvious. Even at its widest, you're still quite a bit thicker. But both are hard shell, so you don't have to worry about that. But let me know what you think of that. And maybe the member giveaway I will do will be for this, or give this as an option for the member giveaway. Let me know. I want to know, would you be interested in this? Speaking of which, when I do the AYN video, hopefully on Monday, once I can get it figured out, I will do the draw that I was planning to do today. And then we will talk about that with the winner. Let's see, maybe they want this Ayaneo mouse pad, or they want a t-shirt, or they want the USB flash drive that's USB-A on one side, USB-C on the other side, so you can get it to go that way, or a coffee mug. I am more than happy to be flexible with what we offer, and since something like this was included, maybe the winner will choose this. We'll see. But that's going to be it for my first impressions. I've probably rattled on for far, far too long. I can't see how long I've been doing this video for. But I do want to thank you again for joining me for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Is this something you would even think of, or is this way out of your price range since it starts at $400 US? And then the version that I have, the limited edition colorway with the maximum 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte internal storage, goes for 630 US dollars. Again, cheaper than a phone. And the processor in this is basically as powerful as the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which is still one of the most powerful Android handheld SoCs, system on a chip that you can buy. The difference is this has been customized for handhelds. So it's been designed for active cooling. This is the intake and this is the exhaust. Because of the way that it was designed to be able to handle the higher end performance for more time because it's designed for that. Whereas the 8 Gen 2 throttles down because it's not officially designed for air intake and outtake or exhaust. On it, one thing I do wish though is USB-C port here and down here. I wish that they would have given us both here and here. I think it would have been nice to have the option. That way, I could plug it in here and have a USB-C to HDMI to go out to TV to consoleize it while I charge it without getting some kind of USB-C hub, for example. But it is what it is. Either way, I'm going to end this video now. I'm going to stop rattling on. And so again, thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, I hope that you hit the subscribe so you can follow me for more videos. I promise you, I'm going to give you as many new videos, new devices as possible. I will, of course, want to make sure I show you guys this as much as possible. So next Wednesday, the live stream will also include this. And I will make sure I have Demon Souls for Mauricio. And I will have Zombie U for Kapka because I want to review those. And Johnny Gamer 1969 and Ethan, they have a couple games that I owe them to play on the live stream. Join me so you can ask for a game. If you don't do it in the comment section below, ask for it live, of course. And if it's on the device, I'll be happy to test it for a few minutes. Even if it's an NES game, last week I did Kid Icarus on the NES for one of the viewers because that's what they wanted to see. So let me know. And I will try to make sure I can have it if you ask in the comments. And yeah, so again, thank you. And until next time, this has been PNix. Extremely excited to announce the PNix Handhelds official worldwide giveaways. Now, each giveaway will happen at predetermined benchmarks. What are those benchmarks, you may ask? Well, the first one will be to have 100 YouTube channel subscribers. After that, the second benchmark will be to have 500 YouTube channel subscribers. And the third benchmark will be when we reach 1,000 YouTube channel subscribers. And then the fourth benchmark and all subsequent benchmarks thereafter will be when we receive 1,000 more subscribers than the previous benchmark. So again, think 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and so on subscribers. Now, to qualify for the giveaway, you must A, be subscribed to the PNix Handhelds YouTube channel, of course. The second qualification would be that you would need to register on pnix-handhelds.com. And the third qualification will be that you send me a private message on the website to let me know your username on YouTube. This is simply because YouTube will not allow me to have direct private communication with my subscribers, and this will just facilitate that much easier for us. After each benchmark has been met, I will randomly select a YouTube subscriber and reply to their private message from the website. The gifts will include a branded coffee mug, t-shirt, or desk mat, or other options may become available in the future. Subscribers are eligible to win a gift once every 3 months or every 3 gifts, whichever happens first.